81,396 hours. That's the average number of hours that someone spends at work in their lifetime. Now, we know that work sucks, right? We're hearing about that all around the world. And as the statistics say, over 70% or 60% of us are quiet quitting at work. Now, what that also means is that 23% of us worldwide are actually engaged. So, in this journey around helping you find ways to find joy in what you do, the 10 steps to finding joy in what you do, today's number 3, we're going to talk about gamification. So the people that are engaged in their work, the number one reason why they're engaged, believe it or not, is because they actually know what's expected of them at work. Secondly, they get the opportunity to do what they do best every day. Now, if you don't get the opportunity to do what you do best, maybe, just maybe, one of the ways to have more fun and find more joy is to gamify your work. Now, I know what you're thinking, games, kids, come on man, I have an important job. Gamification is not just for kids. Did you know the average age of a gamer is around about 35 last time I checked? So don't discount the idea of having fun at work. So let's take a look at achiever. Let's say you're an achiever, you're a high achiever, you probably like writing lists, you like to celebrate things, but maybe you don't celebrate each time you tick things off. You're so focused on getting to the next thing that you're like, okay, good, go, go, go. What are we doing next? Stop, look at your list, take a moment to celebrate, maybe share it with a teammate, share it with a manager or a leader, for example, so they know what you're doing, and then move on to the next thing. The challenge about being an achiever is that you're so focused on getting the next thing that you don't stop and celebrate. And if you feel like you've constantly more things on your plate to do, constantly more things to do, the problem with that is it can start to cause anxiety. What if you're futuristic or creative? Well, in that case, why don't you set goals for how many ideas you can come up with in a day or in a week? Now, the goals and the ideas don't all have to be valid, but what you're doing is you're training your brain to think creatively. It's a muscle, right? You're training your brain like a muscle to think creatively more often. So you're having more ideas in the shower or driving or running or whatever it is that you're doing in your spare time. Not that you have showers in your spare time, but you know what I mean. What about if you're a communicator? Well, why don't you gamify the number of stories or headlines or thoughts or captions or posts that you can come up in a day or a week or a month? Make that a challenge for yourself. Maybe you're a learner, you love learning. Why don't you gamify that? Gamify the number of books you can learn or pages you can read in a week. Now, the trick there is to actually try and retain some of what you're learning. Don't just do what I did and go through as many books as you could and then go, oh dude, I don't really remember what they were about. Build in to your challenge the concept of maybe teaching other people what you're learning so that you're embedding the learning for yourself too. Okay, so how can you get the most out of your day and not go off track and down rabbit holes? I've talked about it before. Look at the Pomodoro app. I love it because it gives me this little tomato, red tomato, every time I finish 25 minutes of focused work. Another thing you can do is a visual scoreboard. So set up a scoreboard somewhere where you can see it. It's kind of like a glorified ticking off list. Maybe you put it on the wall, put it on your screen, put it somewhere where you can see it. If you work from home, probably the fridge. And use that as a bit of a daily or hourly check-in to see how you're going with your score. Now, if you don't like to be competitive or you don't want other people to know what you're working on, that's cool. Keep it to yourself. But here's the thing. If you work in a competitive environment, maybe where there's sales or finance and targets and goals, and you don't like competition, this could be a problem because you're going to feel out of place and feel under pressure. And you're always going to be measured by your output, not maybe by your connections, if you're more of a relationship person. Worse still, when managers put people or teams against each other, that's not good for culture. Actually, research suggests that that's a culture killer. So stay away from that. While we're talking about managers, integrate recognition into your programs. Okay, the new era of workers that are coming through university, they need constant positive feedback. They need recognition. They need to be told they're doing a great job. Now, yes, it has to be authentic. No, you don't have to pat them on the back, Johnny, just for the sake of it. But they need to be told they're doing the right thing, so then they can do more of it. So maybe in your generation, it was about stiff upper lip and they just have to work it out. And why should I need to celebrate them? That's all changed now, okay? The rules are different now. If you want your people to work well for you and enjoy their work and do more of their best work every day, you need to recognize when they're doing a great job and celebrate it. All right, I hope this helps. Gamify it. If you want some more ideas on gamification, why don't you Google it or chat GPT it or reach out or message me below.